All right, so we have one more. Yeah, this is our last way to solve a system of equations using matrices. So we're going to use an inverse matrix instead of our augmented matrix. So what we do is we set up a coefficient matrix for our system. So -1, -3, 4, and 5. We're going to multiply that by our variables, x and y. And this is equal to our constant matrix, so -2 and 8. Remember, when I multiply matrices, I'm doing row 1 by column 1. So -1 times x would give me -x, and -3 times y would give me -3y. And then we do the second row by the first column, so 4x plus 5y. This is why we can set it up this way. Okay. All right, so we're going to call this matrix A times x is equal to matrix C. How do I get matrix X by itself? What I'm going to do is multiply by A inverse to cancel out my A matrix. Well, this is basically like matrix division. Since I chose to multiply the A inverse on the left-hand side of my matrix, I'm going to have to make sure I do the same to C. Okay, so the order does matter here. My A's cancel, giving me matrix X is equal to A inverse times C. This is how I basically get our X and Y by itself. Kind of like this way. All right. So, like I said, we need to multiply by the inverse here to get X and Y by itself. So let's go ahead and figure out what the inverse of A is. A is equal to -1, -3, 4, and 5. And when I find my A inverse, I get 1 over AD minus BC times D negative B. Wait, double check. Yeah, negative B, negative C, and A. Okay? So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and start plugging in the values. So 1 over A times D would be -5 minus 4 times -3 is -12. So that gives me, let's go ahead and plug these in. This is 5 and -1. So these two switch. Okay. And then these two, the signs change. So instead of -3, it becomes +3. Instead of 4, it becomes -4. Okay. This is -5 plus 12, which is 7. So that looks like 1/7. So A inverse is equal to 1 over 7 times 5, 3, -4, and -1, which is fractions. Cool. 5 over 7, -4 over 7, 3 over 7, and -1/7. Your calculator will store these as decimals, but that's okay. It doesn't matter, they're the same. Okay? So let's go ahead and set up our solving just so you can see what that looks like. All right, so I know that X is equal to A inverse times our constant matrix. So X is equal to 5 over 7, -4 over 7, 3 over 7, and -1 over 7, times -2 and 8. And this is actually X, Y, okay, which is equal to, and right here, I'm going to use my calculator because that's good practice. Okay. So let's do second matrix. I stored A as A, so I'm going to do A inverse times my constant matrix, which I saved as C. Okay, when I multiply those two together, I get 2 and 0. Therefore, I know that x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 0 in this matrix. And that is it.